No.
We had you going to Mary's table.
I knew you'd do it.
Oh,
And,
So is this your job? You just put you up in front with Mary. She's excited. You know what? Come up here. Well, I'll take you up.
Okay.
It's complete. How are you? You're missing. I got a hat and everything for you.
Mary, you look like a semi virgin.
No, I'd be better off in blue jeans. Let me tell you what.
You know our jeans.
I sure. Wow, what a great honor. And truly, I never expected it. And I can never forget the night that Mike Holtz called. I think it was actually around Christmas. And my cell phone rang, and I answered it. And I knew it was from Mike, of course. Mike and Clay pop up red, don't answer, but anyway, I answered the phone, and Mike said, Mary, I really need you. I said, what? And I'm thinking he's going to say, I really need you to do. But instead, he said, Mary, I have to tell you, we voted you in to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. Well, many of you know me, I was totally couldn't talk. I started crying. I was just really excited. So, like Mike said, many of you probably don't know the reason why I'm here, a couple, but one of the biggest reasons is because of my mom. She graduated in 1934, and most people always say, well, I want to see what she looks like. So, due to Beth and Bruce Kazerski, one Christmas, I actually got her graduating picture down off the wall, which Clay didn't have a thing to know about, and Beth framed it for me. And that goes everywhere in my heart, and that's one of the reasons I'm here. It was nothing really. I never really grew up in Alexandria. I grew up in Latonia. My cousins, the Malloys, who Mike's here today, and the Metzgers lived off of Park Avenue, 2 blocks down from the school and the church. So actually, I played more at Holy Cross than I did at my own home. My mother passed away on March 13th, 1997, and the very next month, I felt like my mom sent me an angel. I received a call that day from John Weissong, who was going to be the head coach of the Holy Cross Indians. He said, Mary, I need you to meet me at Famous Recipe. That was John's favorite place, him and I, to eat lunch. I was telling Kathy he always got chicken livers wrapped in bacon, God forbid. I walked in Famous Recipe that day, unbeknown. They have 4 of my favorite football players at that time. I didn't really know them. Andrew Whittle, Tony Daniels, Drew Meyer, who his mom Denise is here today, and Coach Y. John dreamed big and won my heart immediately, asking me to find grants and help me find ways to raise money for the team. So since 1997 and ever since, I have continued finding ways to raise money for the school and sports. And as Mike said, my very first grant, I never really knew how to write them, but my father was a writer for 40 plus years for the paper, and he always taught me how to at least write a good paragraph, and buddy, I could do that. I applied for a grant in the state of Kentucky. I'll never forget Governor Patton calling me and saying, you got it. It was called the Land and Water Grant. It was $75,000. The same year, I introduced to Holy Cross a gentleman that is sitting right here in front of me, who is probably the greatest gift I gave them, Mr. Oakley Ferris. Never forget the day I took Clay and Bruce to meet Oakley. We needed money, of course, for a park. We needed lots of money. That fine gentleman gave us a check for $25,000. With the contingency, if we could raise $25,000 in about 4 hours, right, Clay? That man was just the most inspiring thing to me, and I'm so happy that he's here present with us today. Then, of course, came along an assistant coach, Bruce Kazerski. He also is a great inspiring person in my life. The man never stops. One day, I called John and Bruce, told them, I actually called Clay, told him to get John and Bruce out of school. Clay said, what for? I said, don't ask any questions. We have to be in Frankfurt in 2 hours and I need him to go with me. Clay was not happy with me that day. We got in the truck, they had no clue where they were going, and we drove off to Frankfurt. I'll never forget telling John, just, where are we going, where are we going? I took him to the top of this huge building, Department of Transportation, only to find out that I purchased for them their very first school bus. We bought a bus and 2 pickup trucks. Clay gave me the blank check, thank you, Clay. And we got all that for $8,000. The look on them two's faces was like $1 million. Anyway, then it became a high in my life. I continued to find grants. I think really it was God inspired in my heart. And when I was introduced through Bruce in the NFL, I just want everyone to realize how much money we get from them. Every single year, come this time, I'm panicking because you have to start writing grants. Every year we receive $5,000 for a free camp to children. It's held at the Evan G. Ferris Park, and Bruce and his coaches run it, and we have anywhere from maybe some years it's 20 and some years it's 40, but it's totally free. And then every other year, thanks to the NFL, we receive anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000. This past year we raised $25,000. My greatest moment also is when I called school and asked to speak to Clay. Judy Borchers answered the phone and I said, you need to get Clay Eifert out of school. She said, I can, he's teaching. I said, I don't care. That day, I told Clay Eifert I wrote a grant. Really, it was like totally the greatest moment of my life when the NFL and the grassroots grant called and told me they had a check waiting for me for $50,000. That wasn't it? It was the neatest day. So we had to, of course, all dress up like we are today and go down to the Paul Brown Stadium to receive that check. I'll never forget this gentleman sitting here in front telling me that day I needed to really dress up. I said, Oakley, I don't dress up. He said, pick me up and we're going to receive your check. That day, unbeknownst to any of us, Mr. Oakley Ferris walked up on the stage and matched my grant. We were ecstatic. So then we had 100,000. We couldn't match that in 24 hours though. That was a little tough, but we sure have tried. So how exciting, and special thanks I have really in my honor to give to the NFL, Oakley Ferris, State of Kentucky, Governor Paul Patton, Sally Davis. We're well on our way to the new football field, a new bus, and many other perks. And then, like Holtzy says, every year, and I know many of you dislike me for this, we've worked the Cincinnati Bengals since 1998. Denise Meyer, Kathy Weissong, Beth Kaczorski, myself, John Weissong, Tony Daniels, Bruce Kaczorski, every Sunday we were there, or every home game. And unfortunately, I just received a call a couple of days ago from the president of Airmark inviting me back again. That in it alone, my little portable, along with the booth, raises $8,000 to $15,000 a year working the concessions. I could really go on, but obviously it's 75 degrees out, and my 2 boys are looking at me going, come on, Mom. I have a grant to finish this week that'll go toward baseball. I just need prayers from you all. I've never written a grant outside of football, but it's for the Major League Baseball. It could give Holy Cross High School, they don't know this, anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000. So to end this, I would like to say, always help children. That's why I'm here. That's our future. Kids are my thing. Before I end this, I have to thank my saint, my husband, Dan, my children, Joe, Greg, and their wives, for the endless and countless hours I haven't been there with them. And last but not least, I have to thank Clay Eifert, Mike Holtz, John Weissong, Kathy Weissong, Bruce Kaczorski, Beth Kaczorski, Ann Julian, Drew Meyer. They're really the reason I'm up here. Thank you.